Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our English News Edition. Thank you for joining us. In confirmation of his announcement on Tonight in Vatare, Prime Minister Rama has officially sent a letter to the DP chairman asking him to sit and dialogue over their disagreements without the intervention of the internationals. In his letter, the Prime Minister proposed the establishment of a majority opposition forum without the presence of the international partners. The PM states that the forum will not substitute any other institution but will help them treat the disagreements in a civilized manner. According to Rama, this is a proof which will show whether the opposition has the common will to openly communicate with the majority. Shortly after the Prime Minister's letter was made public, the Democratic Party chairman declared that he will first read the letter and later give a response. He implied that his response will be positive while declaring that he does not close the doors to dialogue. The EU Commissioner for European Neighbourhood Policy and Enlargement Negotiations, Hahn, praised the Prime Minister's open letter. I fully support all initiatives for political dialogue in the interest of the country and the citizens of Albania, Hahn wrote on his social network Twitter. The Socialist MP, Valentina Leskaj, who has recently been accused by the Democratic Party of violating the Constitution, submitted a letter to the Assembly Speaker, Ilir Meta, requesting that the mandate for her removal be sent to the Constitutional Court for review. Today's parliamentary session was disrupted again by opposition members. Arguing that the Prime Minister is defending criminals, the Democratic MPs stood up and surrounded the podium in an attempt to interrupt the plenary session. Nevertheless, the Socialist MPs carried on with their discussion of the bills. The Democratic MP, Edi Paljoka, had this to say: the EU wants Albania to progress in 4 directions. Commissioner Hahn asked for implementation of the decriminalization law, for free and honest elections, and for dialogue about the justice reform. We are in a constitutional crisis caused by the government. The opposition does not impose conditions. The Constitutional Court imposes conditions. Since decriminalization is one of the opposition's requests, the Socialist MP Taulan Balla said that the Democratic Party should implement the law and expel the MP against Razimiri. Balla asserted, when a Socialist MP was accused of illegal possession of firearms, the party expelled him. Why don't you expel against Razimiri? The Albanians saw what he was carrying, a firearm, at the protest. The former Prime Minister Sali Berisha was the only one among the opposition MPs who did not gather around the podium. He chose to speak outside the Parliament building after the plenary session. Mr. Berisha commented on the Prime Minister's invitation to the DP chairman for dialogue. He stated that this comes only after several public invitations the DP chairman has made previously. Meanwhile, the Socialist MP Balla declared that the DP stance in Parliament implies that there is a hesitation from the opposition to respond positively to the Prime Minister's invitation for dialogue. Prime Minister Edi Rama was invited last night on Tonight in Vatare, where he commented on different political issues. During the interview, the Prime Minister reiterated his public invitation to the Democratic Party chairman, Lulzim Basha, for a meeting in order to establish a new political dialogue in the country concerning the reforms that must be realized. He stated there can be dialogue between the parties over the issues that concern the Democratic Party. Who comes to the meeting is not important. The most important thing is that we sit and discuss with each other, exchange our opinions in a meeting, not in distance. Regarding the justice reform, the Prime Minister declared that spring is the deadline for its approval. He added that if the Democratic Party had been ready, the constitutional changes for the justice reform would have been adopted. Rama declared that there is no one in the Socialist Party's parliamentary group who may be affected by the decriminalization law. Regarding the construction of the playground at the lake, the Prime Minister declared that the City Hall projects will be completed despite the rejection and protests of Democratic Party and civil society. While commenting on the election of the next President of the Republic, the Prime Minister declared that the candidate for the next President will be chosen after consultations between the Socialist Party and the Socialist Movement for Integration. Later, he added that the name of the candidate will be presented to the opposition to take its consensus. A joint press conference was held today at the conclusion of 2 days of meetings with the Western Balkans. Foreign Ministers, EU Commissioner Johannes Hahn and the Minister of Foreign Issues Ditmir Bushati declared that they agreed on 5 joint measures that should be taken, naming infrastructural projects, youth issues, and measures to handle crises like the refugee crisis and the fight against terrorism. Commissioner Hahn declared that the Paris summit, held on July 4th, will adopt a package to offer €150 million for 10 projects. 6 of these projects will be for the transport sector and 4 for the energetic sector. It is not yet known which of the Western Balkan countries will be awarded money for these projects. When asked about justice reform, Commissioner Hahn stated, "Justice reform is a crucial element, and we need Albania to make a decision before summer holidays. Politicians should consider the Venice Commission's recommendations and reach an agreement. Adoption of the reform is the first step, while its implementation is a second step. A good implementation of the reform is needed so that we can see the results by October." Even though the tourist season is coming, the law on tourism has not been completed with the bylaws yet. The stakeholders are asking the government to conclude the bylaws that complete the law, which was adopted 5 months ago. The law cannot be implemented without the bylaws, and tourist operators are appealing to the government to draft the bylaw as soon as possible. During a meeting of tourist operators and Dubrovnik operators, the Agency of Tourism's marketing director declared that several initiatives to promote Albania have been already undertaken. Dubrovnik's director of tourism stressed that the Balkan countries should present a joint tourism package as a way to attract more tourists from Asia. That's the end of our edition for this evening. Thanks again for watching. Please join us again at 6 p.m. tomorrow for more news in English. Thanks and good night.